All right, we're going to be fixing a nasty, harsh, inconsistent vocal in 2 minutes flat with the tool that you never knew you needed inside of Logic Pro. If you don't know me, my name is Tyson. I'm a professional mixing and mastering engineer, and I've been mixing and mastering for over 13 years now. So let me show you the tool that's inside of Logic Pro that you never know you needed. Let's go. So we're in here in Logic Pro, so let's listen to this lead vocal. So this is where we're having the issue. So let's just take a listen, hear what's actually wrong with this guy. Okay, so those two words, the fire, it's dying. It sounds like he's singing like this, which is really unfortunate because that's not the vibe that I'm going for inside of this song. And if you listen to the raw vocal, it's even worse because we've already added these cuts here to compensate for that frequency buildup. And so we can see that that is at 700 hertz or 680, and then also at 1600. So those are the two frequencies we're going to be focused on in this next step as well, or rather in that frequency range band right there. So there's a couple different potential solutions, right? I can just keep EQing this, but if I just add another EQ to this, then it's going to, those spots where it doesn't sound like this are going to sound a little bit weak and empty and hollow feeling. So we don't want that. We want something that's going to just punch in and punch out wherever I need it to be able to control this vocal in general. So what's our solution? Well, you could reach for a dynamic EQ. Logic Pro does not have a dynamic EQ in the stock options. So let's dive into the next best solution, which is...
If you're struggling to get that industry standard quality for your mixes, then go ahead and check out my book, The Objective Mix. It teaches you the objective standards of how to get an industry standard quality mix. There's a link in the description if you are interested in that. Let's get back to the video.
Is going to be a compressor, and specifically the multipressor. This is a multi-band compressor. If you don't know what this is that it is just a normal compressor, digital compressor, that focuses on specific frequency areas. So for example, this one, I'm going to be focused on between around 500 and 1.7 kilohertz. This is the range, right, that we've already identified as that like harsh, like funneled, kind of feeling like this type of sound. So let's focus on just this guy right here, this number 2 here, and we're gonna just we'll keep the rest of them enabled, but we'll bypass them so they won't actually be doing anything in those compressor ranges. So we're basically using a compressor, but we're able to focus only on this one band right here. So let's start dialing this in. And I'm not going to change any of the settings because the attack is 2 milliseconds, pretty fast, but very reasonable for the goal that we have. The release is 49 milliseconds, which again is also pretty fast, but again, very useful for the tools that we're trying to use it. This is more leaning into that thickness type compression, which is a fast attack, fast release. So it's going to clamp down on that transient and let go right away, which is exactly what we're looking for. It's kind of like a dynamic EQ in the way that dynamic EQ is just poking down and up all at the same time immediately when that frequency band comes into play. So we're essentially doing the same thing, very, very close to the same thing. And then obviously our ratio is just going to control how extreme we're going with that move. So we're going to capture a little bit more of this vocal because it kind of gets out of this funneled feeling in these last couple measures here. So I want to be able to feel when I can clamp down on this middle section, get rid of that nasty weirdness in the voice, and then I want it to be able to let go in those other sections and still sound nice and full and complete, and I'm just chopping out all of the middle in the vocal. So let's start dialing this in. I'm going to shrinkerize that a bit so I can actually see what's going on here. And then we're just going to bring down the threshold right here until we're getting the right amount of gain reduction here. And I'm going to raise the ratio, be a little bit more extreme here. All right, and then I'm going to try to move it actually before my compression chain just to see if that helps a little bit. Yeah, you know, I don't think that actually helps. Let's move it on the main vocal. So it's not perfect, but it's really, really close. And ultimately, the rest of my processing should take care of that kind of inconsistency. So this is a great tool to be able to pull in and use whenever we actually need to just control something really quick. The multipressor is kind of a very underrated, but incredibly powerful tool that you have at your disposal inside of Logic. So anything that you need a dynamic processor for that is similar to dynamic EQ, it's a great tool to be able to reach for. All right, with that, hope you enjoyed this quick video, and I will catch you in the next one.